the last time you saw Paolo the Fiat Panda 100 HP on the Daniel Drives YouTube channel, it was the 2nd of February 2022. And if you remember clearly, it was pitch black and we were getting the car ready for its 2022 MOT, which it went on to fail and eventually pass in true Fiat style. But since February, it hasn't been on the channel at all, and I've got no reason as to why really. Just we've done nothing with it this year because it's been pretty manic. GCSEs, holiday to Greece and various other things. It's been quite an eventful summer, but for good reasons really. And this car hasn't been getting any attention really. It has been on social media from time to time, and if you don't follow me already, you can do at DanielCars05, so that's all plug. But really, it hasn't had any YouTube love. It hasn't been on the channel at all. So this video is going to solve that, because now it's September, and this month, in less than 2 weeks, I turn 17, and this is going to be my first car. So really, we've had this car for 2.5 years, and this is just the beginning of a lot of the fun we're going to have with this car. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what's happened with the car since it last appeared on the channel and what's to come. I'm Daniel Acthouse, and you are watching Daniel Drives. So in true Daniel Drives fashion, we're getting serious now because I've brought along the Daniel Drives book of notes. It's the return, people. This is when you know things are about to get nerdy. So really, I must mention, there was a month really where I even didn't see the car at all because it was over with Asa Thorpe, who, if you're on Twitter, you'll know him very well. He is sort of the panda connoisseur. He is the god of pandas. And at one point, I think he had 400 HPs and one 1.1 litre panda. He's a bit mental, but he's a great guy. And he had this car basically to do us a favour. So what he did was he took the power steering column out and he sent it off to a company down south called ECU Testing. And this is because in the 2.5 years we've had the car, one of the main issues we've had with the car is the power steering failing because it's electric and it's Italian. Yes, cue the Italian jokes in the comments. And we got sick of it, quite frankly, and we thought, as a first car for me, I'm learning, going around a double mini roundabout or something like that, the power steering failing is far from ideal, so it was about time we got that sorted. So that got sent off. The power steering column motor got refurbed because the diagnostics machine did prove it was that was the problem. It was the power steering column that was faulty. And then it came back to Asa, and Asa refitted it for us. Brilliant. Another thing that he did was he fitted a new air condenser in the front of the car because the air condenser that was in it was quite clearly the original and had quite a lot of damage to the fins. So we fitted a new one of them and regassed the system. So now we've got working air conditioning, just as autumn has started. That's sensible. Went through 3 summers sweating in the car. So that's brilliant. And also as a bit of a bonus, Asa did an alignment for the wheels. So that's good, isn't it? So Asa had the car for a month and that's what happened with it. So the car's now back. It's only been back less than a week. And I'm really happy to have it back actually because I missed it a lot. Another thing that happened is something inside. I fitted a new head unit. Now this is something I've been a bit 50-50 about doing in the time we've had the car because I like the originality of the standard Blaupunkt system. I think it looks good and it fits with the interior of the car, quite obviously. But it's just not a very good system and you don't get the clarity at higher volumes. So really it was about time we replaced it. So as a gift for doing well in my GCSEs, my parents very kindly took me to Halfords and let me choose a head unit. So I've got a double DIN Sony head unit. Now you'll see this properly in the next episode of Daniel Drives. This is a video I've already filmed, it's getting confusing. And it looks good and it sounds good. But longer term, I'm thinking I might upgrade the speakers because on eBay, Alpine speakers, you know Alpine, a brand that everybody knows and loves, they do a bespoke speaker system for the Fiat Panda. And you've got the 4 speakers, but they also do tweeters in the doors. So that's something I'd like to do in future. And I'll film it as well for the YouTube channel because it's bonus content. So that's really what's happened with the car. What's next? What's next? Well, as I mentioned just earlier, 29th September, I turn 17. And this is something that has always felt so far away, but now it's literally a week and a few days. So I am ecstatic, seriously. It's something I've literally raved about all my life, as turning 17 and starting the journey to learn how to drive. And this car is going to be my first car. I can't believe it really because it's quite a cool first car. People remind me on Twitter and Instagram all the time, but trust me, I know this is the perfect first car in my eyes. It's perfect. And 2.5 years ago, I loved these and I was so excited to get one. And 2.5 years later, really that buzz hasn't gone at all. This car still is just amazing in every single way to me. I love it. So my first driving lesson is actually booked for midday on my birthday, because that's how serious I'm taking it. I'm very excited, and hopefully it won't be too long until I can actually drive this car on the road. I probably will have a black box because that's just how it works, and that's the only thing that makes the insurance realistic on these cars, having a black box for the first year or two. And that's a similar story with most cars, to be honest, but especially a car like this where it's a bit quirkier and maybe a bit sportier, he says, with only 100 HP, and that's something that most Fiestas come as standard with these days. But yeah, 2023 is going to be probably the biggest year yet for me, this car and the YouTube channel, because I'm hoping that for the majority of the year I will be driving. So car shows, I've got many of them planned. I'd love to take this to Festival of the Unexceptional next year. My mum said I'd fit in really well because apparently I'm unexceptional. She's laughing behind the camera. So that's next July. I'd love to go down there with my friend Matthew, because he's just got an Audi A2. That is cool. So there'll be plenty of 100 HP and A2 road trips. I mean, that's just so cool, isn't it? There's also Goodwood, obviously. There's Auto Italia, and also one thing I'd love to do next year, and this is something I've wanted to do for quite a few years now, is actually organise a massive meet for Panda owners and Panda 100 HP owners, but really just all Pandas really, somewhere like Caffeine and Machine or something, and get together and just celebrate these cars, because they're brilliant and I really don't think they get enough attention really. So the next year is going to be super exciting and probably the highlight of my life, to be honest. I can't tell you how excited I am really. And I'm going to take you along for the journey. So if you are a new viewer, then do subscribe, because everything's about to get really exciting. And if you're an existing viewer, thank you for sticking around, because I really appreciate it. And doing these videos, it's a lot of fun. So I think really that is it for this video. This is basically just a reintroduction to the Panda, mostly for the new viewers if you haven't seen this car before. And if you go into the playlist section on the channel, there is a playlist for Paolo the 100 HP Panda. And I think this will be the 10th video on there, I think now. And there's going to be many more. As I said, a few days time, you will see the head unit video. And then after that, who knows? Who knows really? I don't, because yeah, I think the next few months are going to be a bit of a blur. So that's it really for this episode of Daniel Drives. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting few months. I'll see you soon.